The National Ploughing Championships is the foremost day in the calendar for the farming communities throughout the island of Ireland. And Sinn Féin have had attended each national ploughing event for the last 6 years. And now the Minister for Agriculture from the 6 counties, Michelle O'Neill, has brought the agricultural dard to have a tent here as well. An indication of our commitment to the farming community, and an indication of our commitment to rural Ireland. This year is a very, very important year because from January of next year, Ireland has the presidency of the EU, and this is of huge importance, particularly in relation to the renegotiations of CAP and the importance of CAP to the farming community, not just in Ireland, but throughout the rest of Europe, and in particular the weaker states in Europe. So it's important that the Minister, Simon Coveney, along with all of us working collectively in the interest of the farming community, put our shoulder to the wheel to ensure that we get the best possible deal for Irish farmers and by extension other European farmers in the negotiations upcoming in 2013.
Well, the negotiations are still taking place under the Cypriot presidency, but from all that we can gather from the information we're receiving, it's really not going to be resolved then, and it's going to be over to the Irish presidency to take it forward. There's somewhere in the region of 8,500 amendments that have come through. So a hell of a lot of work has been done there from MEPs across the board, all with different concerns. Obviously for ourselves, what we're looking for is the simplified, flexible and well-funded CAP. And we have been driving that agenda and trying to mobilise and getting a lot of support from other MEPs. You're up against other sort of member states like Britain who are looking for research and development to be promoted as opposed to CAP, and would favour the CAP budget and being cut. And you also have the same with the Danes and with the Swedes. There are different priorities for different member states. But for ourselves, in terms of Irish MEPs and the French MEPs, we are lobbying very, very heavily to ensure that we maintain the CAP budget. So that's where we're at the moment. There's still a lot of work to do, but there's going to be a lot of pressure, I think, on the Irish presidency, and it's going to be up to them to come up the plate.
Well, the 3 days of the ploughing match is always a great opportunity to meet farmers. IFA comes here every year. I'm here for the 3 days every year, where you meet a huge number of people from every part of Ireland. And it's a great opportunity to have a chat with them about the issues that have come up during the year and the major issues ahead. This year, because we're heading right close to the critical decisions on the future of the Common Agricultural Policy, nearly every person I talk to, the first question, what do you think is going to happen to CAP? Will it continue to be funded? And certainly that's the major issue, and IFA are heavily involved at European level, working with other farming organisations in France and Germany and across Europe, and working with the government at home here to defend the CAP. First, to put a fully funded budget in place for Europe, which would mean a properly funded single farm payment, a properly funded rural development programme. That's the major issue that's coming up. Also at the moment, of course, because we're running a major protest on the 9th of October, any of the farmers I'm speaking to, I'm asking them to turn out to protect the family farm on the 9th of October, and I'm certainly getting a good response to that. With the concern farmers have, this was a bad year weather-wise. It rained for 3 summer months of June, July and August, which affected people's income, affected weight of stock, affected milk yield, and had a huge negative effect on the grain harvest. So farmers' income this year was rising inputs, bad weather, increased costs, will be down about 30%. So that's helping focus people's minds on the importance of protecting the single farm payment and protecting the rural development funding schemes like the Suckler Welfare Scheme, the Disadvantaged Area, EUs, REPS, Forestry, all those domestic schemes that also make an important part in the contribution to farm income. And in that context, we'd be having meetings with Minister Simon Coveney, other ministers, to try and protect the agricultural budget.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be here with Martin McGuinness and Martina Anderson, our new MEP. It's very important that it's a fantastic event, firstly, in terms of a social event for people in the agriculture industry to get together, but also in terms of trade. People do real business here. Over 80,000 people come through the show every day, so that in itself is fantastic, and it's a great opportunity for people to get together. But as I say, I think it's so important that Martina Anderson is here, that Martin's here, because we need to very much have a Team Ireland approach whenever it comes to dealing with Europe in terms of agriculture. We have the biggest changes going through now at the minute with CAP reform and all those proposals. We need to take a Team Ireland approach to that. We need everybody in this island working together. Very small island. The interests of the agricultural industry are the same from one end of the island to the next or to the other. So we need to work together, make sure that we're out in Europe making a very strong voice for the Irish farmer.
Well, obviously weather is a big issue for farmers this year, particularly in the western counties where continuous rain has made farming conditions extremely difficult. In ICSA, we've tried to help farmers in the west by using our members in the east who have had maybe better conditions, and we've transferred fodder from east to west already, and that's been helpful in places like West Cork, Kerry and the counties who have been most badly hit by wet weather. We're very concerned about the proposal by Minister Quinn that farmers will be assessed for third level grants on the basis not of their income alone but of their income and their assets. We feel this is very unfair and discriminatory because obviously farm assets are worth something, but farmers are often described as asset rich but income poor. And this is a proposal which, if it goes through, will have the effect of preventing many farm families in Northern Ireland from being able to afford to send their children to third level education, and we're totally against this.
There will be probably in excess of 200,000 people here over the next 3 days, and it is a shop window for an organisation like Teagasc at a particularly important time of the year for farmers, and more especially this year where we've just experienced one of the worst summers on record, and there is a big emphasis on our stand today on helping farmers who are in difficulties with fodder for the coming winter. If they come to the stand here, we will have individual and one-to-one consultations with farmers over their situation. We also have a full range of specialists and advisors here on duty for the next 3 days, covering all aspects of agriculture, from beef farming, dairy farming, sheep farming. The issue of the environment, the whole issue of sustainability is well dealt with at our stand, as is alternative farm enterprises, and in particular the whole issue of bioenergy and alternative energy crops on farms.
Well, it's fantastic to be here with Michelle O'Neill, our Agriculture and Rural Development Minister from the North. I think it's hugely important that we recognise that farmers all over the island of Ireland have an awful lot in common. So it's very important that our administration in the North is represented at what is a National Ploughing event where farmers from all over the country, every one of Ireland's 32 counties are present, and appreciate the tremendous contribution that farmers make to our economy. At this time, in the face of battling a world recession, the agri-food industry is hugely important, and of course the linkage of the farming community to the agri-food industry is long stated as being something that has seen a huge success for us in terms of our ability to battle out of the economic woes that people are facing at this time. So I think it's important to come, and it's important to be here and to associate with one of the most important communities in the whole of the island.
Well, would you believe it, this is my 5th year being here at the Ploughing Championships, and it's going from bigger and bigger and better. I know the weather, we can't do anything about that, but I'm here cooking. I write for the Farmers Journal every week in the Country Living section, and I'm going to be doing 3 demos, one at 11, one at 1 and one at 3. And the whole focus of my demos is using local, using seasonal and using Irish produce, because I honestly believe we have the best produce in the world, without doubt.